Okay, so right off the bat, I just wanted to say prepare yourselves because this is probably going to be more of a rant video than a review video. But I feel like I've just been a little bit too nice when it comes to Polyphony's Need for Speed 2015 reboot. Oops, I mean Polyphony's Gran Turismo 7. Yes, there's quite a few similarities between Need for Speed 2015 and Gran Turismo 7. So what are those similarities? Well, for starters, they're both gorgeous looking games. And they're both online only, which is ironic for Polyphony Digital's Gran Turismo 7, considering this is supposed to be a celebration of their 25th anniversary mark. Now, there are definitely some positives to this game, but before I get to those positives, the negatives far outweigh those positives. So that's major issue number one. And probably the biggest problem with the game is that it's online only. And I know some people will be like, "Well, it's not a big deal, bro. Like, don't you have internet? Like, bro, don't you guys have phones? Don't you guys have internet? Don't you guys have internet?" You're missing the point as to why it's a problem. It's the fact that when the servers shut down, the game will no longer exist. So you're paying for a rental. You're paying full price to rent this game. That's the issue there. So that's major blemish number one. Major issue for me number two is that the physics on this game, you can clearly tell they use the Gran Turismo Sport engine, and half of the shit that's in this game just was never meant to support some of the stuff in this game. For example, the physics. It's fine while you're on the road, but God forbid it rains. You may as well be driving on ice. Major issue number three. This game has microtransactions. Polyphony Digital has the nerve, the audacity, to have a $90 version of this game. The 25th anniversary edition is $90. And yet, they still have microtransactions in the game. So you can pay $90 to rent a game and have transactions, microtransactions, like a mobile game. Are you kidding me? And people will defend this. That's the amazing part, is that you have fanboys that are so attached to this game that they will look right past these issues. These are the reasons why I am just about done with the gaming industry. This shit is getting ridiculous. Paying $100 for one game, that's like a game and a half. And it only being a rental service. On top of that, you've also got microtransactions blended into it. I don't know how else to explain it, the insanity with that. So these are the major issues with this game. I didn't play the multiplayer, because I'm just not really all that interested in multiplayer. Eventually I'll probably play it once they update it, because from what I've seen, the multiplayer isn't very good from the looks of it. It's really no different than Gran Turismo Sport. But in fact, there's some things that are actually downgraded from Gran Turismo Sport. And I'll have a link to another video that kind of goes over some of these blaring issues in the description down below if you want to check those out. But I find it kind of ironic that an online-only game doesn't have a very good online multiplayer experience. If you are a casual racer, if you are someone who just wants to get into a car and start driving, this game's not for you. I know Polyphony Digital said that for people who are brand new to the series, this is a good jumping on point. I disagree. Gran Turismo 4 is still the pinnacle of the Gran Turismo franchise, and probably always will be. Okay, because Gran Turismo 7 is very much an on-rails game. There is no freedom like there was with previous Gran Turismo games. From the get-go, it's kind of funny considering their tagline is "Find your line." What do you mean, find your line? Your line is chosen for you. From the get-go, you're directed towards what you have to do. Go to the cafe, talk to Luca. Okay, now go buy your first car. Okay, now... Oh, but it has to be between these 3 cars, by the way. Go win these 3 races and go collect these cars from the races. You gotta place 3rd or better. You place 3rd or better in each race, you win the gift card that you need for this cafe menu. Okay, now you've collected all 3 cars now that you won those races. Now go back to the cafe. Okay, now he's going to give you a lecture about these cars. Okay, now that that's done, here's your next menu book. Okay, and it's the same thing over and over again for the most part. So these are the glaring issues with this game. If you are a casual who just wants to jump in and have fun and play around with cars, go play Forza Horizon 5. You'll have a much better experience. That being said, those are the negatives. Now there are positives to this game. The game is absolutely stunning. I don't think the graphics of a PlayStation 4 game could get any better. Everything is supremely detailed. The environment is extremely well detailed. Everything down from the taillights to the clouds in the sky are absolutely beautiful. This game is a clear love letter to cars, okay? They clearly had a lot of passion poured into this game, which makes it even more sad that this game probably won't exist 10 years in time. But the HDR implementation is very well done. The tracks are very well detailed, and there's a good amount of tracks in the game. And there's going to be more updated through time. The car customization. There is quite a lot of car customization that you can do in this game, and that's awesome. I'm so glad that car customization makes a return here, and that it's very well fleshed out. Everything from the car's body paint to different, body panels that you can add, to spoilers, to rims, and there's so many options. There are so many options, and there's so many cars in the game. And I think that's great. Photo mode has been more fleshed out, more locations have been added, and the amount of different options you have are insane. It's kind of overwhelming at first, in fact. And I'm sure there's a lot of potential there as well. Music replays and music rallies, brand new implementations for the series. It could be seen as a bit of a gimmick, and I don't disagree with that. However, I do think it's pretty cool, and at least they're trying to do something unique, something different. It was much needed for the series. But the glaring issues with this game just don't make it worth it, in my opinion. Not for full price. If you are a Gran Turismo enthusiast, if you're a hardcore Gran Turismo fan, then maybe you can look past some of these issues, but I would still say wait for a sale, since they have the audacity to put microtransactions in this full-price game. Oh, and by the way, there's also no endurance races. I mean, really? Every other mainline Gran Turismo game has had endurance races, but not this one. I mean, what's up with that? So overall, I'd have to give Gran Turismo 7 a 6 out of 10. Now, I thought about giving the game a 7 out of 10, but given all the problems with the game, the huge blemishes with it, I just can't. I just can't give the game a 7 out of 10. I had fun with it, but are other people going to feel the same way? Those are my thoughts on Gran Turismo 7. I hate that I had to be this negative, but I just can't ignore these fatal flaws. And they need to do better than this when it comes to these problems. I'm sick and tired of the gaming industry going in the direction that it's going. And I'm not kidding when I say that I'm really honestly thinking about just hanging this stuff up. I've got my collection built up at this point. When you're getting to the point where you're paying full price for rentals, I just can't support that. So, hope you guys enjoyed listening to this review of Gran Turismo 7. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think I'm being too harsh? Let me know. I'll catch you guys later.